Let the beat drop first. Welcome back to the daily Mental Scraps podcast. Now, daily, weekly Mental Scraps podcast. I am your host, Devin D. Scott, and I'm here with my pops, Darnell Scott, here to share some of the mental scraps that we're learning from all of our mentors, from the books, from the podcast, from the mentorships, all that good stuff to share it back with y'all, to share a little something in our mental scraps that we learned from it. So, good Sunday, man. No work tomorrow, so it feels like Saturday for me. So I'm excited. But how you feeling today, Pop?
Feel pretty good, man. Feel pretty good. Feel pretty good. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. It's really cool. I think we talked a little earlier this week, but I'm feeling good because I'm getting Illy on the same page when we building some stuff together. So it's not like, oh, I got to go work and then try to get back and try to spend time with her. It's like, nah, we build some stuff together. So it's I don't know, just makes everything better.
Yeah,
Makes
definitely.
everything better. It's way more fun. Because I want to go real fast and move really fast because I understand that success loves speed.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, you need to slow down. But she's really, really slow and really methodical about it, which makes it better in the long run. So it's like we're both balancing each other out to neutralize it. I helping her move a little faster, and she's helping me move a little slower. So we move at the right pace. So it's pretty cool, man.
Love
And
it.
just
Love
and
it.
just enjoying the process, and just enjoying the building, and not worried about all the other stuff. Just literally enjoying it. So I'm in a good spot, man. I'm in a good spot. Um, cool. But on this, I know last episode we talked a little bit more about some gratitude. We talked about how your body is being a servant of your spirit, of your spirit,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
of your
Yep.
spirit.
Yep.
And you will eat from the lips, from the fruit of your lips. That's what we talked about last week. So if y'all didn't see the last week's episode, go ahead and check that out. Um, go check that out. But on episode 13 today, we want to talk about three things. We want to talk about thinking from the place that you desire to go. We want to talk about the internal value in ourselves and making sure we are valuing our internal self. And then lastly, if we don't talk about those two too much, we're gonna hit on making money while you sleep, or what they call it in the game. It's called evergreen. So those will be the three things that we talk about today. But make sure y'all like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, whatever I'm supposed to say as a podcast. So do that stuff and hit them reviews and share these podcasts. If you get any positivity, or if you elevate at all, share this with somebody else so that they can elevate as well. But getting right into it, Pops, from thinking from a place you desire to go. Um, I'll throw you first, and I'll tell a little story from where my mentor shared a little bit. I think I shared it already, but thinking from the place you desire to go, what does that mean to you?
Mm. Well, you can only fix your mind on one of two things. You can fix your mind on where you're going or where you're at. Where you're going or where you're at. So a lot of people I've been talking to since we started, being more transparent and sharing our value with other people. It's been it's been eye opening because there's so many people. They only look at where they're at. They never take the opportunity to look beyond their present circumstances. They just look at their circumstances and talk about their circumstances and talk about their complaints and talk about what hurts them, talk about what hurt them in the past, talk about what they're worried about, but they don't spend that time, you know, and that energy to use their imagination to look forward to see themselves with a favorable outcome. Favorable outcome is where, as you would say, anticipation on Christmas. You ain't thinking about getting no poop in a box on Christmas. You're thinking about getting some good stuff. You're thinking about some, you're gonna be unwrapping something good. So going into the future, man, and like actually seeing yourself there with that favorable outcome, and then coming back to to where we're at now, then you have a clear plan, a clear idea of what you could do to get yourself to that favorable outcome. Because if you're looking at that bad stuff in the back, man, you pretty much are. It's really like if you put some, like, you got the keys, you got the chain, you got the handcuffs. It's like you chaining yourself to something in the past. You put the handcuffs on yourself, you lock it with the key, and then tomorrow when you wake up, you still stuck and you can't move because you lock yourself up. Now that's a physical representation, but the mental part of that is the same. if your mind is stuck in the past or stuck in on what you can't or what you don't have and what you can't do and all that type of stuff, man, it's like a handcuff, man. And you got to let that handcuff go. You got to unlock yourself. And so you can move forward and do something more profitable with your time, So that's what I think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the saying, I just talked about this on the Daily Gratitude morning show. but what I'm trying to say, where attention goes, energy flows, right? So wherever you're putting your attention on, that's the type of energy you're gonna get back that's gonna be attracting to you. So but quick story, and I think I shared this on one of the podcasts before, but I'll share it again. One of my mentors, he does this thing, he calls it Broke Joe, Woke Joe. And he creates two identities in itself to where it's like it's Broke Joe and then it's Woke Joe about where he wants to go. And Woke Joe is clearly the person that he wants to become and the person where he's going. And in his certain situation, he was stuck at making $20,000 a month. He was stuck there as an entrepreneur. He wanted to make more. He wanted to do more because he wanted to make more impact, leave more impact on on his kids, his legacy, as well as his clients. And he was stuck at that 20,000 a mark. But the thing that he found out, he was doing actions based off of 20,000 a month Joe. He was doing the actions that 20,000 a month Joe was telling him versus the 100,000 a month Joe. So once he make that switch and that transition, he says what he does in the exercise goes like closing your eyes, walking into the office and asking your $100,000 self a month, Joe, what would you do in this situation? What are the things that you would do? And as soon as he started doing that, he just started going crazy. He started going crazy, and he blew the 20,000 a month out the water. He just bought his second mansion, $2.5 million home. I'm pretty sure he just bought his wife a Lambo. And not trying to get all about the materialistic stuff, but the fact is, he's getting all those things because he did the thing and he started to believe and started to take action from his thinking from where he wants to go versus from where he's already at. So something as little as that is so huge, because a lot of times we get ourselves stuck because we don't know. And that's okay if we don't know, by the way. It's not a problem if you don't know. You just don't know. It's a whole bunch of stuff we don't know. But from the things that we do know and where we want to move forward to, think from that place, and it's going to benefit you a lot better. But that comes back to the thing that we always talk about, Pops, is knowing what you want. Because if you don't know where that place is, if you don't know that person you want to become, if you don't know what that looks like, if you can't close your eyes and see it, it's going to be very hard for you to think from there. So, and I know we talked about it a lot on the show, but just going back to that place of understanding where you can even think from that place. What is the quick framework in the trick to get there, Pops?
You got to know where you want to go. You have to know the number one question you got to ask yourself is, you have to answer the question, what do you want? If you don't know what you want, you already got what you want. If you that's it, because you are everything that's around you right now, the car you drive, the job you have, the people that your circle, your straight line, everything that's going on in your life right now is a direct reflection of how you think from inside to outside. It's always about inner becoming the outer. So if you have things around you that you do not particularly want to be around you, you have to put more input into your heart, mind, mindset, improve yourself. And then you can begin to see the world that you really, really want. And then you can go out there, just be your normal self, and it'll automatically be attracted to you, because you empower yourself when you put the content inside of your heart and you just let that thing, you keep telling yourself over and over, I am happy. If you are a very depressed person but you tell yourself, I am happy, I am happy, I'm happy, that's going to have an effect. But if you add what you want with that happiness, why you want it with that happiness, and then what you're willing to give, then what you do is you start making a big list of why you're doing the thing that makes you happy. You make a very, very big list, and then the list is so big that the excuses don't matter no more. The excuses become small as your why goes up. So you begin, like, I have an exercise, right? So imagine writing down on a card, a 3x5 card, something that you really, really want. You really, really want this thing. And you put the card down on your desk, and then you pile other stuff on top of that card. Now, as long as you're thinking about what you want, the card doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. As long as you keep it focused in your mind, you keep thinking, I want this, I am happy, I am giving this, I'm doing this. But the moment you stop thinking about it for too long, it's going to leave, it's going to begin to diminish the clarity of what you want. It's going to diminish, it's going to go away, right? So when that happens, you remember all the stuff you piled on top of it, all of the books and all of the other cars and all the stuff you piled on top of that thing. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to move all that stuff out of the way and get back to that car so you can refresh your thinking. So keeping that 3x5 card with you at all times so that you can always have a constant reminder of what you want in front of and so you can keep that into your subconscious mind, because that's going to be the thing that magnetizes your life more than anything. Everybody does everything they do because, like the great mentor Myron says, you feel like doing it. And why do you feel like doing it? Because you're thinking about it, because you're aware of the benefits, because you've built all these reasons why you want to do it. And, you don't want to have regret against your own self. So if you know where you're going, the percentage of the chance of you getting there is very high. If you don't know where you're going, you're already where you probably don't want to be. So the framework is ask the question, what do you want? Why you want it? And what are you willing to give to get it? Then once you have that information, you have to get more knowledge. You got to get an understanding. You got to get results. Keep practicing, and then eventually, you will actually hold the thing that you said you want to hold in your hand. It's inevitable. It has to happen. It has to. I mean, it's a law. If you write it down, it will surely come to pass. It's a law. It's not something that we have to figure out. It's a law. If you walk outside, you go on top of a building and walk off the side of the edge, you're going to need a doctor.
Mm-hmm. And so you're gonna need a doctor. I don't know. I don't think the doctor can be able to do nothing, Pops, man.
Right? Yeah. I'm just trying to keep hope alive. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, you ain't gonna.
Yeah. Try to keep hope alive.
So as I'm reading the book, it's called Outwitting the Devil, and I shared this on the Daily Gratitude, and you read it before, and you actually recommended for me to read it. It's been so eye-opening because Napoleon Hill, he talks about this all the time, but he talks about the definiteness of purpose. And in this book, Outwitting the Devil, he interviews the devil about ways that the devil will control our minds and keep us stuck and keep us not moving forward. And, just kind of keeping us, he calls them drifters, keeping us in the drifters land to where we don't have that definiteness of purpose and we don't know what we're doing. So we just drift along day by day. And then you look up, you open your eyes and it's 40 years later, and you're doing the same exact thing. You're in the same exact place you're in right now. So the framework that you're talking about, Pops, that gives you your definiteness of purpose. Because when you don't have the definiteness of purpose, the devil he come to get you straight up. And having that purpose, being definite about it, that actually closes the door to the devil to where he's like, oh, they know what they want, they know where they're going, and not saying he don't stop messing with you, but it's harder for him to get to you because you know where you're going. And that's where the waking up like a little kid on Christmas comes. If you're definite in that one purpose of what you're doing and moving forward, because you know your purpose, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you understand why you're here on this earth, you understand the reason for waking up. It's not no more I'm waking up today, I have to. No, you're like, I get to wake up today because I get to make an impact, and this is the one thing that I'm doing. So curious, Pops, what is your definiteness of purpose when it comes to you and your life?
The number one thing I got is I want to hear the words, well done, my faithful servant. You've done. I want God to say that to me. That's my definite aim. I want to please God with my heart, my body. I want to please God every way that I can. While I am still a filthy rag, I feel that God is, guiding me and directing me. So I definitely want to. I don't feel that He's directing me. I know He's directing me. He has lit up a path that is narrow for me to see. It's narrow enough that only I can see it. And it's taking me places that I never even dreamed of even going. with this photography thing and with these things I'm doing for people in communities right now. Who would have believed that a machine could do so much for the to bring up, a community? But my definite purpose as far as business is concerned is I just want to serve people at the highest level, that's possible for me. I want to serve people at the highest level. I want to be the most valuable person in my field to the people that are like me, people who want to pick up a camera, or someone who wants to do the things that I do, or people who don't even know if they want to do it, but they want to try it. Like I did. I tried it and I said, hey, that's me. It became a drug to me, and I can't shake it. I got the shakes, you know what I mean? I can't get rid of it. But for as far as the business is concerned, that's where I'm at. And then with the with the writing and the things that I do with the writing, I just want to record in Christ's honor the most essential words that can, I don't care who reads it, anybody who picks it up and reads it, they can run with a new vision. If they don't have a vision for themselves, I want them to be able to take that vision and take it and apply it to their life, because it's not going to be a framework or anything like that. What it's going to be a trusted truth, and it's going to come directly from the Bible. I'm going to write it in today's time so that people can take that information and improve themselves whenever they want to, if they decide to. And another thing with that, now definiteness of purpose is big to me. I've been hearing these words for 20 years. I had no idea what they meant. It took me over 40 years of life on earth to realize what he was actually talking about, because I had to figure, because I took the long road. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody to tell me anything. So I had to literally unlock many, many doors and find all kinds of formulas and different words and patterns so that I could get myself to a point where I understood that. Now I understand it. You have to know what you want. That's definitely, you have to know what you want. You can't do anything unless you know what you want. You cannot become a doctor if you don't know that you want to be a doctor. You can't. It's impossible. You have to know what you want, and what you want is probably tied to something that you hate. You probably want good credit. If you want good credit, you have to become a person who can do credit. You have to become the type of person who can do that for yourself. And then once you become valuable to yourself, then you can give it to anybody else, the people who will not learn that information. So think about, I'm gonna stop there because I got some more I could talk all week to tomorrow, but I'm gonna leave it there. So the key to everything, man, regardless of what's going on in your life, you have to know what you want first. You have to know what you want, because if you know what you want, then if you don't know what you want, you go against the Bible. Period. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not want," but you have to want something first in order to know that you don't want anything. You have to. You have to want something first. You have to know your end desire in order to not want it anymore. So that one pinnacle thing that you want for yourself, you have to know what it is. You have to have that desire. And then once you do that, then you realize, I don't want that anymore. I am that. This is me. I am that. You don't want a car, a truck, if you have one.
Mm-hmm. So in the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not want."
Yes.
So you're saying if you don't want, so you shouldn't want, because you're already becoming that. So you already are. So it's not that you want it because you already have it. Is that kind of what you're saying? Because with the definite that having your definiteness of purpose, because it's not like you want that. That's just who you are.
You become that. You become the person that can do the thing to have the results. You become like the God. When the God never says, "I am," I want. God never says, "I want." God says, "I am." Who are you? I am. Then you say the word. Some people say, "I am." Forgive me, Father. I'm just saying this is for representation. I am broke. They say that. Somebody's come up like, "Oh, what's up, rich? What's up, rich boy? What's up, rich king? Oh, I ain't rich. I'm broke." people will do that to you. Like, why? Why would you say that against your own nature? You know, the words we use, you know, first of all, if you know what you want, if you know the desires of your heart, if you know that information and you become that, you no longer want. And that want that you have in the beginning should pay for all of your expenses, all of your life legacy. It should give you peace of mind and joy in your heart. It should be of service. It should be valuable to other people, anybody who comes around it. You can help the poor anytime you want to. This thing should be bigger than you. It has to be bigger than you. Just like the oak tree is bigger than the acorn shell. This is in a limited shell, and you have an acorn, but within it, it has the code of 100-foot oak tree. And if it prospers all the way up, it goes with the potential and it grows all the way up. It has many acorns that can create many, it can duplicate itself over and over naturally. So God, compares us to trees, in a few places in the Bible. And if we really took a minute to understand that, you could take one apple seed, care for it, and that apple seed can become not an apple tree only, but an apple orchard or an apple forest. That one seed can become all of that. So imagine if a seed can do that. Imagine what one brilliant thought can do for a person that trusts God and puts it to work.
And I love it how you said it has to be bigger than you, because a lot of times people make the decision to say, this is what I'm doing, this is who I'm becoming, this is who I am, but it's still so small and it's just about them. It'll be just about 90% of the people I talk to that. Okay, you heard that?
No.
I don't know what that was. Anyway, but 90% of the people that I talk to was, we ask them like, what do they want? Like, what is your purpose? Like, what is it? Most of them say, I want freedom. I want financial freedom. Most people go to that. And it's like, okay, well, 90% of the people also don't get it. And it's like, and I always ask myself about like, well, why, if everybody wants that, why don't more people have it? And it's because it's still too small. It's just about them. They're not worried about anybody else. They're not saying anything else. They're just like, I just want my time so I can have more fun in my life and travel. And it's like, okay, that's good. And that may bring some motivation. But like we talked about before, motivation is for the amateur. That's going to come and go. But that's not going to bring discipline. That's not going to bring the whole different lifestyle to make you change exactly who you are and improve who you are. Improve who you are so that you can then become that person who can then do the thing that can then actually become financially free so that you can then be. But like most people it's just too small. It's just too small and it's only about them and there's no why behind it. It's just, I just want more money. And it's like, well, why do you want more money? Well, I want more time. Well, why do you want more time? Right. So like one thing that I love to do is called the 7 whys, and people call it 7, but I don't think you got to. It's however deep you can go, but just keep asking yourself why. Just keep on asking why. Well, I want more money. Why do you want more money? Well, because I want to buy me a truck. Why do you want a truck? You know what I'm saying? And it's like you keep asking yourself why till you get to the root. But again, we need to think a little bigger. We need to think bigger, and I love what you said about everything about your why. But I've been spending some time on this, and like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I like to move fast. My wife likes to move more. I don't want to say slow, but more
strategically.
Yeah, she's more strategic. I'm just like, let's do it. Let's figure it out. It worked or not. Let's get results from it. Let's move forward. But we're leveling out, and I'm kind of slowing it down to figuring it out. And I wrote down what I wanted before. And I realized it was kind of selfish. It was kind of small. It was about me, and it really wasn't about anybody else or whatnot. And I spent a little more time figuring out what that was. I think I might have sent it to you too, Pops, but I want to read it for the people. I read it on the Daily Gratitude Morning Show, but I want to read it to the people, just what I was writing down. It wasn't. I just started writing, to be honest. I said, you know what? What's my definiteness of purpose? And I just started writing. But basically, I wrote down, I help people identify their greatness from within, even when they don't see it within themselves. So unlocking the hidden potential and maximizing performance by believing, encouraging, and developing them. being their guide to decide their definiteness of purpose, guiding them to build out their dream life, and giving understanding that they must first give, then get, building hope, courage, and confidence to do the right thing that results in being more, doing more, and having more. Um, and I wrote, we are emboldened dreams. An emboldened actually literally means giving the courage and the confidence to go do something. So to go live your dream, right? So, and I wrote that. It's, you know, again, there wasn't a lot of strategy behind it. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just start writing. I'm gonna just start writing. And what is it that I actually want to do, and what is my definiteness of purpose? Like, why am I here? But the one thing that I loved in here was you got to first give, then get, right? Because as I'm not talking about now, what did I write before? Before I wrote, I wanted more time, I wanted more money, I wanted more house, I want more vacation, I want more, I started naming all the stuff that I personally want. But when, right, when this becomes big enough and I'm helping enough people by giving first, everything else that I personally want, I will have. But it starts off by giving it to the people first and helping them and moving them forward, and then everything else will take care of itself. So it's like going back to the where your attention goes, your energy will flow. Where are you putting that attention? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on getting a new car, or are you focusing on helping more people? And helping more people will get you that car. So it's a whole nother way of thinking. Definitely a paradigm shift, but definitely positive. Just enjoy it.
Well, think about this. So there's two different languages that we have, right? It's the language that we speak to ourselves, and then we have a language that's above ourselves. It's like esoteric. So imagine
spiritual.
Definitely everything spiritual.
What word you say? Esoteric. What's that mean?
Out of reach.
Esoteric. Okay.
Like you have to become a person that has that knowledge in order to do whatever they can do. So it's like, so imagine you're trying to listen to a doctor talk, and he's talking in a doctor language. The metaphysical bone structure of the alignment of the pineal gland, of the lymphatic system, that the mucous membrane, in circulatory. Now, two doctors are talking to each other, and you're trying to sit there to understand what they're talking about. Well, here's one thing's going to happen. The problem is you don't understand their language. They're speaking English, and people say it's hard to be a doctor. It's not hard. It's just it's a different discipline. It's a different discipline that you have never done before, like a baby who has never walked before. It's a different discipline, and that discipline, you have to become a person that gets that knowledge, that language knowledge, in order to be able to talk to listen to the doctor and understand what they're saying. So you will never understand the language, and if you don't get to that point, right? So think about a person who has a poor mental mindset, and then they're listening to a rich mental mindset speak. It's a whole nother language. It's a whole nother way of thinking. It's a whole different discipline. So that person, when they hear a person saying something that they will not say to themselves, because people listen to themselves. Poor people listen to themselves. Rich people listen to the market. They listen to the market. You understand? It's a whole different way of thinking. Rich people listen to problems so that they can solve them. Poor people give them the information so that some rich people can sell some stuff to them. That's the problem. So if you have a poor mindset, which we were born with a mindset, and it wasn't rich or poor when we were born. So everything that we learned that is poor was learned. We gained that from the culture, the atmosphere, the people we talked to, the people we respected, the leadership. We've seen great people, super nice people, super nice preachers, right? We've seen all of these people, and we respect them because, they're whatever. They're a teacher, they're a coach. We respect them, but they don't have anything. They don't have anything because one reason they don't have anything because they follow the same system of thinking. You know, so if you have a language that's low, that has a low energy, you can never go above that. You can never achieve more than that. The only way to achieve more than this is to hear up here. You got to bring that all the way up, and then you become a different person. You know, once you become a different person, man, then you have from here all the way up to here. Now you have all of that space right there to improve yourself, all the potential, and the difference between being low energy and high energy. It means everything.
Mm-hmm. Man, the energy is huge. It's crazy because everything's energy. Everything, like everything, like everything is what is matter, right? Matter, all the atoms. Even going back to the book, That Way of the Devil, he talks about how, you know, a piece of matter is a negative energy and a positive energy, and they attract, and that makes it whole, right? And he broke it down in the sense of, he said, well, God is your positive energy, and only two, and the negative energy is me, the devil, right? And and he just broke it down just so basic like that, just black and white. And it's like, again, this is stuff that I've been understanding and talking about, but like it's just like, it makes so much sense that you know, about going all your thoughts and what you're thinking and thinking from that higher place, because you may not be there yet, but the thing is, it's already in you, because God's already in you. He's literally in all of us. He literally in you, whether you believe it or not. Like, I mean, too cool. But I did want to move more to the talking internal, right? The internal value, right? And one thing that Myron Golden said, I just want to quote him real quick. He talked about people put value on the outside. He said people put value on the things outside themselves, but value nothing inside themselves, when all the greatest value is internal. What does that mean to you?
Going back to nature, man, the keys to all life, man, you can find it in nature. That's why people who walk around in nature feel better than people who don't, because when you get into that nature, you feel free to move through. You see the trees, you see the different colored weeds. They're beautiful though. They look beautiful in that natural state. If people don't mess with them, they grow up, they become colorful. They're very beautiful. But the thing is, man, that those are all seeds, and all of the great power is in the seed. Everything is inside the seed. You know, when you to construct the human body, the Bible says very clearly, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, which means once I put you in there, I also gave you the genetic code to become a dominant person in the world, a person that was wealthy, healthy, wise, you know, servant, you know, have a servant heart. He gave us all of that stuff in the beginning, everything. But it was unlearned, because we learned something, and it replaced all of the stuff that we could be. So the internal part of us, like, it ain't your outside of your body that takes care of you. If you don't take care of your inner parts, then the outer parts, you're gonna see marks on you. You're gonna see, you know, you're gonna see scars and blemishes. You're gonna see a lot of stuff you see on me. You know what I mean? If you don't take care of the inner part of you, then it's gonna become outward pain. You know, so if you take care of your inner parts, your spiritual inner parts, love, joy, happiness, peace, self-control, gratitude, you know, serving people, you know, doing the best you can, always looking at the brighter side, always fixing your eyes on God and what he has for you. He says, I have plans to prosper you and not to cause you any harm. And that in the Bible, I mean, that's very clear. You know what I mean? So the inside of us is the most powerful. See, it's, you know, I hear this from a lot of different people, but most recently, you know, Myron really talked about it a lot. You know, we're giving this guy Myron Golden his flowers right now, because he really literally has helped us to think. We heard all these words before, but he really put it in a framework that made it possible for us to grasp it and really paint a picture with it. So that's why we're giving Myron Golden shouts out. So if you don't know who he is, y'all go check him out. He's a very, very great person, and he loves the Lord with his heart. So anyway, so if you go down inside of yourself and you really, really, really imagine being that person that you're not right now, then that stuff that you're not will begin to dissolve as you move forward towards the person that you want to be. And it's always going to be based on the input. You cannot have great output if you have weak input. You know, so if you have a level 2+2 level of mathematics, don't go trying to talk to no dude about trigonometry. You know, don't talk up to a dude about trigonometry if you're still talking about 2+2 is 4. If you got that low level of knowledge and input. So you have to always improve your input if you want to improve your performance out here where everybody can see you working, because they can't see what's really going on inside of you. And inside, we are very impressive. We're very impressive. We can do anything that we put our mind to. And our mind is connected to what's inside of us. And our conscious mind is with our hands is attached to what's on the outside of us. So look around your life. If you don't like it, go ahead and improve it.
Mm-hmm. And I love to put an analogy of the seed, right? Because the seed grows, it germinates in a dark place by itself, alone, and you can't see it. You can't see it growing. You don't know what's happening under there, but you still got to have the faith to go water the seed regardless. You have no idea what's happening. You just don't. You just have faith that I can't see it, but I'm still gonna do the works anyway, and do it. But the another thing that what he's talking about, the value outside themselves, right? People always putting the value what's going on. Everybody nowadays looking on Instagram. How many followers do I have? How many likes do I have? How many friends do I have on there? Is that people resharing my stuff? And they kind of put their value on that versus all the internal stuff that we are already valuable. We don't need anybody else to tell us we're valuable or we're great or this or that. No, we just are already. But that's kind of the problem right now when it comes to the social media and all that stuff. Which keeps people trapped, which keeps people drifted, which keeps people comparing to others, when comparison is the thief of joy. And everybody will say, I want joy, I want happiness, I want fulfillment. But you're comparing yourself to everybody else. That you saying one thing and doing another. Right?
Yeah.
So if you want happiness, sometimes you close your phone down. I want to pat myself on the back because I don't do that enough. But I'm patting myself on the back because I lowered my stuff over 25% of looking at my phone last week. We keep track on and see how often I'm on my phone. Lowered it 25%. Now, is it gone? Is it perfect? Do I just never look at it? No. That, you know what I mean? We're always going to be, we're never going to be perfect. But I've improved so much better because this last week, I'm not just sitting there just scrolling, looking at everybody else of who I want to be. And I'm just being me. I'm not worried about that because it's my internal value that I truly believe. I have faith in the seed, in the God within me, that I am doing the right thing. I have my purpose. I'm supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing. I am exactly where I am right now because I'm supposed to be. And that's just, I'm excited about it. And that's how I live through gratitude. And that's why everybody asks me, how you always so happy, Devin? I mean, how am I not happy? Life's good. Like, life's great. Like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And the tactical things, I like to get, to the tactical, like, well, how do you do that? It's good for you to say that. We all know gratitude already. I ain't going to harp on gratitude again, but if you ain't heard about any gratitude, go listen to other episodes. But it is stopping comparing yourself to everybody else and understanding that I'm competing with me. I'm competing with the yesterday me of trying to make sure I'm better tomorrow. That's it. Am I better than I was yesterday? So like, for my example, I'm not perfect. I still scrolled a little bit last week and I wasn't perfect on Instagram. There was a couple of times I found myself scrolling, but now I'm identifying that, hey, this isn't a good habit. Let me close my phone and let me go replace that with something else. So that's how I decreased 25% from identifying that this is not what I want. This is not bringing me happiness. This is not adding to my internal value. Let me go do something else that's going to add to my value, to add to my fulfillment. So one tactical thing, hey, close that phone and stop comparing.
Well, another thing you can add to it too is some people are not happy with their life right now. Some people are not happy where they're at. They're waking up, they're groggy, their vision is very blurry. They don't know what they don't know what they want. They know they hate what they're doing, but the most important part, so we always celebrate when things are going well. But you have to remember to be content where you're at right now because it could be worse. Where you're at right now could be worse. Instead of you being in that 1-bedroom apartment, you could be on the sidewalk with a cardboard sign, or under some blankets that, you know, the Salvation Army gave you outside when it's freezing outside. Or, you know, it's a lot of things that can go worse for you. So people need to, first of all, you need to just stop what you're doing every once in a while and say to yourself, I am great. I can improve my life. I have a God that is for me and not against me, a God that wants to see me blessed and not see any harm come to me, a God that wants me to, you know, to be rich in my finances and in my soul. I have a God that wants me to be healthy, a God that believes in me, a God that gave me a life for a reason and a purpose. I am able to do all things that I put my mind to through Christ who gives me the strength to do it. I'm able to love even unlovable people. I'm able to serve my neighbor. I'm able to. So you have to start building that framework for yourself of this positive person. Like if you stripped away everything that you do negative right now, you wouldn't be a dead person. You would be a person that was able to only go up from there. If your whole life, 100% of your life is negative, which is impossible, or you wouldn't be able to be alive. If a majority part of your life is negative, though, you can always improve it. You can always find that one thing that's holding you back, and you can beat it. Anybody can beat anything, but you have to start where you're at. You can't just be a millionaire. You can't just be a person that has money or a money consciousness, or you can't just be a person that's happy all the time when you're not happy all the time. You have to start where you're at, and you have to, like anybody else, you start picking up the pennies, then you start getting the dollars, and then you start multiplying the dollars, and then your dollars go to work and get more dollars, and then you just keep on building yourself up. Likewise, you have to build yourself up with words. Words the same way. You start with that one word. What is that one word that you want? My one word is improvement. You know, I believe I cannot catch improvement. I believe improvement's always going to be ahead of me. So I'm always going to be chasing it down. I'm going to get as close to improvement as I can, but I know as soon as I get close to it, Zoom is going to be gone again. I'm going to find you, though, because I'm going to keep on coming. I'm going to keep on coming for improvement. And, you know, when you're improving yourself, there's a real metric that you can use to, you can really look at your life and see where you're improving at if you write things down. But if you're the type of person that believes you can remember everything with this, please take this proverb: a short pencil is better than a long memory. Please take that proverb into your heart, because you got to write this stuff down. The only way we make it in this world, in this real, true physical world, is to write down physical words. That's the only way it works. Because if you try to do esoteric or spiritual things in a physical world without no natural products, then you will fail. Right now, people are after your mind and your attention. What they want is they want your mind. They want you to see their stuff, hear their words, so they can program you to automatically be magnetized to their stuff. Like you go to Walmart, you wonder why you picked the Bissell. Why you picked the Bissell? Because you see the Bissell, you've seen that like 30 times. It's in your subconscious mind. So you see Bissell and you see this other one called a Shark. The Shark don't make sense to you, but the Bissell do, because you've seen it so many times. McDonald's make more sense than Burger King, even though Burger King tastes better, because you see McDonald's everywhere. You know, it's just subconscious. They program you to, they attract you to their stuff. So likewise, you can do the same thing with your words. It's all about what you think about. You become what you think about. Your life around you is all the words manifestation from your inner parts. That's all it is. And we say the same thing over and over, but it's really the truth. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm thinking we save for the evergreen for another day. I don't know if it fits in today, but we'll definitely talk a little evergreen and how making money while you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to kind of stick and end off where we at, because today we talked about thinking from a place you desire to go, and then adding that internal value on yourself, and not allowing the environment to put their value on you. You need to put your value on yourself. And another thing that I've said before, how did I say this? Basically, how you view yourself is how others gonna view you too. And I had a cool way to say this. I have it all written down somewhere. But if you think, again, not saying it for learning purposes, but if you think you're broke, then other people are gonna perceive you as broke. Versus if you perceive yourself as rich, people will perceive you as rich. So again, stop worried about whatever they thinking. Just worry about what you are internal to yourself, and then everything else will be perceived in the right way, how it's supposed to be. So I love everything you're saying. I think it's a lot of gems in here. But curious, I want to put it out here to the listeners because people still listening 45 minutes in. Want to put this out here. What do y'all want to learn? Like what is it that y'all stuck on? What is it that you're like? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? And what do you need to learn? And what are some tools that you need that we can provide and help with through the podcast to help y'all move forward with as well? Because that's what we're here to do. We're sharing everything that we're personally learning to give it back. But wherever you are, you may be in a different place. What do you want to learn? And we're here to be those guides to give it to you. So before we wrap up, Pops, anything else you want to add to anything you was talking
about? Yeah. Take a moment to look at the outside world. Just go outside. I know it's cold out there, for us in Indiana. But if you just go outside and just look at the richness of life, just look at it. Life is not poor. It's nothing poor about life. It's the only thing that's poor in this world is the way we think. That's all. That's the only thing that's poor. We think poor. And so, like, if you have a magnet is not going to be attracted. It's not going to attract certain elements, but it's going to attract the thing that is going to pull it in, snap it right to you. So what my son is saying to you is that your inner part is like a magnet. It's truly like a magnet. If you think about a magnet, sticking something on a refrigerator, it's really truly like a magnet. And it's really going to pull those words, those behaviors to you. The people who are conscious with that level of thinking, they're going to be attracted to you. If there's a young lady out there who may say to them, why do I keep attracting these type of men? Well, it's the way you think about men is why you attract that man to you. That man feels it's not a feeling like a touch feeling. It's just he thinks he likes you, but he's only attracted to you because of the way you think. Period. And you bring him, then he comes to you, and you find out, oh, you just like Leroy. Leroy he ran around on me and done all this bad stuff, stole my car, ran into a tree. You did the same thing. Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason we attract the words that we speak. Like a person may call into work one time and fake like they don't feel well. And then when they get out the phone, they laugh like, ha, 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 I ain't going to work today. I lied to them, boom, boom, boom. And then 2 days later, you don't feel well. Just like that. It's happened so many times through history. Likewise, they have this thing called the placebo, right? They gave 10 people, 5 of the people that gave meds and 5 of the people that gave a placebo. More of the people who took the placebo got, they felt better than the people who took what was called the actual chemical drug. The people who took the sugar pill were actually better than the ones because it wasn't because of the substance they put in their body. It was the way they thought. They thought the substance was going to do the thing. They thought the substance was going to do the thing. So that your subconscious mind thinking, goes out and it brings you the result. That's how it happens. So your result may be, if you say, I am rich, you're not going to have money in the bank tomorrow. I mean, you could. I mean, it's possible, but the reality of life is you're not going to have money in the bank tomorrow. But if you keep telling yourself that you are rich, you are wealthy, you are a rich, wealthy thinker, you are a doer, you are, a professional, a goal-getter, I make professional money. If you teach yourself that, keep training yourself on that, then ideas will be attracted to you. Opportunities will be attracted to you. Certain people that you don't know now will come into your area where you can hear them. You will be able to hear them talking. And all you need to do, if you hear somebody talking about a vision you have in your heart, you need to go over and ask that person, and what do you do and how do you do it? Ask the people those questions. And I'm going to tell you, a person who has a heart for God or a person who is successful, they will never, ever tell you to get away from them. A person who has a heart for God and a person who is truly successful, they will always answer your questions. Now, if a person, you go to someone and ask them the question and they say, get out of here. You know what? That was false evidence appearing real. That's not a person that you should be talking to.
You don't need it anyway.
You shouldn't go down. You shouldn't feel down. You shouldn't feel rejected. None of that stuff. Let go of that weak stuff. And last thing, you have to, in order to get rid, you have to discard some things in your life. Like you literally have to get rid of stuff. You have to get rid of unrealistic beliefs. You have to get rid of unworkable words, things that don't work in your system. If you don't understand it, if it's hard for you, that means you don't understand it. You know, either get more knowledge, more understanding, or you need to go back to the drawing board and create something that is more realistic for you to attain. And small goals are good. A kid that plays basketball the whole entire season, misses every shot, and then at the end of the season, he shoots the ball and he makes a basket. The rest of the season means nothing because he shot a basket and everybody cheered for him. The rest of the season means absolutely nothing. So the small victories, celebrate those today. Celebrate them. Get rid of all that weak stuff. Quit looking at the weak stuff and start looking at the outcome that you really want for yourself. And be a blessing to yourself.
That's how you close it out right there, Pops. That's how you close it out, man. But nah, Pops, always good talking to you as always. The whole reason we got this whole thing started, we started talking. We said, man, this stuff's too good not to record, share with some other people. So just conversation with my Pops, some mental scraps that we learning each and every day. And if you like any of this, feel free, go ahead and just leave a little review, put a little 5-star or whatever you feel you're valuable getting, and share that out with somebody else as well, because we're here to help people. So I feel like I had one more thing, but I think it's gone. Good thing we have another episode next week.
Yeah, that's right.
But
that's right.
But that does it for us, man. With the Mental Scraps podcast, like I said, go ahead and share this with somebody, and remember that you are already great from within. God is already in you, whether you believe Him or not. So talk to Him, talk to your Heavenly Father, and He will give you the answers if you ask. So that does it for myself and my Pops for the Mental Scraps podcast. We are signing out. Y'all gonna be great today.